they know. West side talk, that glow. Vegas at night, let's go. This that vague ringtone. Game in your ear, I flow. Real ones ride for sure. Number one show, they know. Click in, strip lit, door swing, I slide. Palms in the glass, neon in my eyes. Hood stories, high stakes, chips on the line. Every scar on my knuckles, every lesson my sign. From the complex lot to the top flow suite. Turn pain into profit, made the loss look sweet. They respect how I speak, cause I live that scene. Put the desert on wax, made the sand look green. Yeah. This that vague ringtone. Soon as it ring, they know. West side talk, that glow. Vegas at night, let's go. This that vague ringtone. Game in your ear, I flow. Real ones ride for sure. Number one show, they know. Southside scholar with the hustler code. Old heads nodding like I walk that road. Talk rent due, talk kids, talk court dates missed. Talk prayer in the car, talk please don't snitch. Community love, block built my name. Stay 10 toes when the checks got strange. You can hear my grind when the beat come on. Every ring say rise, every ring say strong. This that vague ringtone.
What's up, everybody out there? I hope y'all enjoyed the show, what y'all just seen. But we got a bigger show coming with Tiffany Washington. Finna tell y'all some things. And all y'all have to do is just pay attention. And everybody that's locked in, make sure y'all leave a comment, click subscribe, hit like and share. And we're going to bring in my girl, Tiffany Washington, in the building. What's up, Tiff?
What's going on?
Hey, man, what's happening?
Thank you for having me.
Oh, no
I'm
doubt.
honored.
Hey, you actually one of the first people that I wanted to be on my show.
What?
When I first started doing it years ago. I think I reached out to you, but I don't think I probably told you, but I told you how good you were.
Oh, wow. Oh,
And I told you my auntie was watching you.
Who is your auntie?
Her name's Cherie Lamb. And she used to
Okay.
follow you. Yeah.
Okay. Listen, when you think you're a small guy, you be big to other people, and so that's how I feel about you when I see you around the town and you doing so many things. I just be like, look at him. I remember when we was doing it so little, when we used to just be at the store.
Man. So growth is always in somebody that's ambitious. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So we're going to continue to grow no matter what they say. Well, no matter what anybody got to say, if they ain't watching and paying attention,
that's right.
They don't know.
That's right.
Yeah. So, Tiff, you've been living in Vegas how long?
43 years. I'm 45. 42 years. So I moved to Pahrump about 3 years ago. However, which is Nye County. I'm just 45 to an hour. Well, about an hour and like 15 minutes from Vegas still. But I'm a native, like born and raised.
So what was that like moving to Pahrump?
I'm gonna say this. Okay, for me, it's a blessing because you got to realize I lived a somewhat reckless life. Mm-hmm. And because of that, my kids adopted that fruit. Okay. And so as I started to get older and I began to, I gave my life to God and I started to walk in my fullness and my wholeness. My children didn't turn right with me, and so I had to leave Las Vegas because I seen myself going back to a place that wasn't good for me.
There was a movie called JoJo Dancer. Have you ever seen it?
No.
So Richard Pryor is the actor in the movie. Uh-huh. And also the movie is about him and Diana Ross. So it's a little kid and he see this grown man, but the grown man is actually him. And he said, when I get older, I'm going to be in a whole lot of trouble.
See, and I think that was my thing because when I started seeing my kids develop that fighting and that street life, I'm one of those ones that I grew up where you protect your kids, and I hadn't got to the point where I was still wasn't mother cub. You know,
Right.
I know they grown. However, I didn't get in a mess, but if they mess came to my house, or if the people would say, I'm gonna come to y'all, that I immediately like, I'm about that life, you know?
Right.
And so I said, we coming from Vegas, this generation versus our generation, it ain't no respect. You knew who somebody was in the streets, you knew not to mess with them. And so this generation that we have now in Vegas, I had to leave because I knew it had no respect for the ones that came before them and the OGs in Vegas.
So what is one of the, I mean, major things that really turned your whole situation around?
When I went to prison, I tell people all the time that prison might have been horrible for some people, but it was a college for me. It was a learning experience. It was educated. I was isolated. However, I was freer than I ever been.
Man, I would have never guessed. Seeing you, listening to you, I would have never. I'm new to this.
Yeah, yeah, three and a half years.
So what did you do, and how did you get there?
So back in 20, about like 20, about 2000, I had picked up about 57 counts of identity theft and possession of another's identity, a bunch of fraud, and I got 5 years of probation. Fast forward, I had been living that life for since I was 19 years old. My mother was a pickpocketer, and so she told me a little bit about checks and stuff and how to do things. But then I started later on hanging with some Caucasian folks, and they took me to a whole nother level in it. And I started doing crystal meth. And so, in order to have a habit, that back then crystal meth was crank. And in order to have a habit like that, you had to have some money. And so I started doing check fraud and different things like that. And eventually I got caught. And when I got caught, the judge, they busted my house and I ended up getting probation. However, 5 years of probation, my daughter ended up in her freshman year fighting a senior, and the senior, it was about five girls jumping her, and I went and almost ran like the kids over and busted uh, two people in the head, and I violated. Yep, I
That's
violated.
not funny, but it's if you see the story in your head, it's funny.
Listen, the thing about it is, I didn't know better, so I didn't do better.
And that's
You
real.
you I didn't know, I didn't have no tools. I was raised by my grandma in Marble Manor, West Las Vegas, the coast. Most people call it West Coast Bloods. I was raised over there, and all we knew was survival, protection, and your neighborhood is what protected you. And when you come out of that element, your mindset is still the same. Even if you're in a six-bedroom house, I was in a six-bed dang near mansion. I was in a six-bedroom house. I was the most fraudulent person in Vegas. I would pay for people's cell phones, power bills, whatever on the block, and I would sit there and think to myself like, I'm hood rich, you know,
Right.
but my mentality was impoverished. My mentality was still in the hood. And so I had to lose all of that when I end up busting the girl and her brother in the head and I'm talking about this one no regular, bust in the head. I like to see blood and white meat.
Right.
So I did, and all I knew is I just seen a bunch of kids over my daughter, and I just started swinging. And when that happened, I called the ambulance. I called AR for the kids. I was like, listen, we got some teenagers out here, 116 and 119. I said, and they pretty damaged or whatever. I said, and
So what did they
they
parents? How did they parents react to that?
oh, they wanted to fight me.
Did
they
the
they
fight
they
ever
came from
happen?
some they came from some type of hood too. So we was the only blacks on the block.
Okay.
We was literally, I was on over there by between Henderson and Green Valley, but not even right there, like Sunset, so
I understand.
on that street you can count by your on your hands how many fingers, how many black people was on the block,
At that time,
and
yeah.
we was beefing with each other.
That's crazy.
The only families on the block beefing with each other, and it was because I believe this. When you chosen by God, it's something that hovers over you, but at the same time, the enemy is there too. And so what I realized is this fight in me was good. It was a good thing. See, I want to tell somebody who might be watching, the fight in you is good. However, what you use that for, what you use that adrenaline for, what you use that fight in you for, that what you channel it to is what's important. I didn't have no boxing coach. I ain't had nobody to tell me taekwondo. Like you see what I'm saying?
Right,
I
right.
didn't have that. So for me, I would suppress my rage and my anger. And just that one day, I think that they had the wrong mama, and that was my daughter. And all I seen, I got a phone call from her saying, "Mama, they jumping me, and I can't breathe." When I heard that, I dropped the phone and I just drove. I said, "Where you at?" She said, "Down the street." And I drove, and they was following her home so I could see them from my peripherals. And when I got there, I asked no questions. I just, yeah, I just seen a bunch of school kids,
So
and we see it now today. So like it's everywhere, but back then it wasn't as relevant as it is today. And
today is
so
bad.
yeah, now kids killing themselves. Now I was like, what was y'all when I was screaming out, crying out for help? Because I had been to the school several times. I had been to parent teacher conferences. I had tried to tell the school police to help me out. It wasn't like this just had happened, Mike. I had been trying to de-escalate the best way I knew how.
So
But
let me ask you
again,
this before you go any further. Is this what all took you to prison?
yeah, when I went before the judge, they put attempt murder, um, because like I said, I did damage.
So
The
this
girl had
probably
to
was
have
big news.
reconstruction. She had to do surgery, huh?
This probably was big news on 8, 13, 3.
No, it wasn't new. It wasn't. No, heck, no. It was black on black. We ain't fit to make the news like that.
Oh. If it was black on white,
Baby,
it would have been
if
front
that was a
page.
white kid, I would have been I would have
You'd have
been
been
lynched,
hung.
and it wasn't even lynching season.
So when you was over in the coast, was you wearing a red rag?
I claimed it. I did. I was Suwu. It wasn't Suwu back then, though.
It
It
wasn't
was
that
just on
then.
Bloods. You just be like on
So so
Bloods.
so back, just like growing up like that, did y'all get together as like a group of girls and guys, or just a group of girls got ragged up and went to a party and was just kind of waiting, like who want to start, who want this?
You know what? I wasn't like that. Like I was so different because first of all, I didn't come off the porch until I was like 12.
Okay.
Like I was a homebody. I was scared. I lived over there, but I didn't like talk to not like I talked to the kids, but like I didn't start doing the gang stuff until I moved out the neighborhood.
Because you
Ain't
had
that
grown
I
into
moved
it.
out the neighborhood and then I started going back to my neighborhood because we end up all migrating to the Rogish
Which
on
was
Lamb
which
and
Rogish?
Bonanza.
On Lamb and Bonanza? Yeah,
Absolutely.
that was fire over there.
Oh
I remember dropping a
man.
kid off from football practice, and we had to lay down in his house because there was a shootout outside.
When I tell you that's when I got heavy in it then. So now I'm 13 years old, definitely red rag. I'm talking about I'm fighting Donna girls, we fighting Gerson girls, I'm fighting
Any Donna
everybody.
girls you know?
I fought Brandy. I fought this one girl who got with my program. Wait, who was that? I think her name was Manisi.
Okay,
Manisi. Some whatever, but she was hard. She was hard. Like she fought
okay.
like a dude.
Well,
But
that Donna was taught a little different.
Man, wait, let me just say what I used to say about the Donna girls. It was because they was ugly. So I said
Don't be
ugly
talking
girls
about
can
my
fight.
homegirls.
Forgive me, but ugly girls can fight.
They sure can.
They be like, we ain't got nothing else to lose, so let's get it. Cause they already, you know what I'm saying, a little bent up. So, but and then pretty girls try to come out there, and I was in the middle. So, you know what I'm saying. So I didn't want to do too much fighting. I only fought if I had to. I wasn't one of those people who went to go look for nothing, and I wasn't trying to prove I was a coast girl. I wasn't trying to, say like like I wanted to kind of be cool with everybody because I used to. I didn't mess with dudes from the coast. Like I mess with dudes from other neighborhoods. So I couldn't
Oh,
be
so
over
you was
somewhere and
starting
get beat up.
trouble. See, you lived in the neighborhood, messed with somebody outside the neighborhood. They was mad. They couldn't wait to go get your boyfriend.
No, I actually I end up liking a nerd and
Oh
turned
yeah.
him out.
But you know what? A
Hmm.
lot of girls from neighborhoods, even from my neighborhood, they all dated outside. You got some that never dated outside. They stayed inside, and they probably got, maybe two or three baby daddies in the same neighborhood.
A lot of homeboys.
Right, because, they just never leave the neighborhood. But you
See,
got
but
some girls that will go and be with the opposite set and have a
so
dude
what
and
would you
have a
do?
dude on the set.
But what would that look like for you though? If you had to share with your homeboy, like what? See, like now,
Well,
what
I
we
don't think it's so. From what I've seen, the girl was somebody that everybody liked and they wanted her, and it's like, regardless if somebody may think she don't look good, but these dudes like her and they want that girl, and when she come available, they want her.
I couldn't. That's like okay. So I don't know. Like for me, it break the rules because even I had homeboys that liked me and I liked. However, it was too many of us like that person, and so in order for me not to trip with my girls, I like you can have that. Like I end up messing with one, and I kind of regret that because like it was almost like he see for me it was like you bet not mess with nobody else. It
Oh,
wasn't you could get passed around. It was like you better not mess with nobody else, and I didn't. And like I was young, getting beat up by him or whatever, and different things like that. And so for me, I think I was just scared to mess with anybody else, but I really didn't like too many people no way in my neighborhood. When you see the dudes mess with certain people and then and the certain things that they do, I just feel like it's too close to home.
yeah, I
So
understand
for
that.
me, that's a no.
That's
It's a
like
no for me.
a lot of times I feel like that too, and then you have to kind of think everybody's available.
But in another neighborhood, though, see, in another neighborhood, you don't you like you said, you can have one in your neighborhood, one in another neighborhood, and they'll never cross paths or never, something like that. However, now what I would do is I could be talking to somebody in my neighborhood or like being cool with them, and then have a boyfriend in another place that I'm really with. But my
Right.
homeboys didn't like look at me like that. First of all, I was chunky, and like I've never been a small girl. I was chunky, and not only that, I capped too much. Like I roasted all day.
So you was over there being a superstar.
Oh my God. Like I would go into roast sessions, me and my homeboy LG. Like we used to, oh my, shout out to Brotherhood too. Like I love him.
A
We would
safari?
his name LG Lamar.
Okay.
Lamar he of a Brotherhood. Brotherhood, he do like aromatherapy and stuff, sell stuff like that. And they call him Gito. But me and him used to just roast each other all day, and he'll be like, dude, like he'll be like, you play too much. And I think that's what it was. Like I was too goofy. I played too much. No, I really wasn't a serious person.
They weren't trying to sneak you behind the building.
Yeah, because I had a big booty, regardless.
Come over here, Tiffany. Come here.
I did. Look, I did a few hunches,
You know,
a little,
do you
a little
remember? You
humping or
probably was
whatever.
young at the time, but City View Park used to be cracking.
Ew, at the park.
City View Park used to be cracking.
See,
So the DJ would come up there, everybody would come up there, party, dance, and like you say, it's gonna be a fight. So be
but
prepared to
was it a
watch
fight
it.
amongst y'all?
Blacks on black.
No, I'm talking about like was it like another gang and Donna's, or would it be
No, it
just
wasn't gangs. It was just people.
people?
I
Okay,
remember the Cook
absolutely.
brothers tried to jump on Hen Hen, and it went down, and the fight was happening, and so when it was so many of them, Hen Hen
Mhm.
broke, and I remember at the time I was probably in junior high school. I had seen Hen Hen run out of his shoe, so I go get his shoe and run
Uh-huh.
it down there to the 7-Eleven, where the 7-Eleven at now. It wasn't a 7-Eleven there, but I ran it down there to him. But Hen Hen was trying to get him one on one, but it was too many of them. So he just
So wait a minute. So they so they was jumping them.
so it started our head up. Hen Hen was getting the
Wait, hold
best
up.
of
How
him.
do we get the link to this? Somebody asking me
Tell him to
how
go
do
to
they watch?
the Vague Ringtone YouTube channel.
Okay, you don't got your link on here?
It's not. It's a THEVEG ringtone on YouTube. They'll pull it right up.
Okay, well let me go to your YouTube and do it, and then I'll
You can
post
send
the
it to him. All right, while
post
you
the link.
doing that, I'll play a little something. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh. Turn me up in the phones real quick. Number one podcast. You tuned in? Yeah. Yeah. This that vague. Laughing in my head, that's how this thing go. Short for the city where I grew up. Same dirt, same rain and never really blew up. Same side streets where the tourists never show up. Same home team that they always overlook us. You can hear it in a way that the block talk. Read between the lines when the chalk start. Everybody claim they know where my heart at. But they never seen the corner where we park at. When I say VEG, they don't get it. They look lost and they act like they with it. Vague on the tongue, but the rules so Pacific, show for Vegas. Yeah, the natives feel different. When I say VEG, better say it right. You just see lights, we survive through the nights. You just see games, we just play for our lives. Show for Vegas, let it echo through the pine. VEG, ask around town, they gon' act brand new. Like they ain't from the same old view. Same crack sign at the edge of the avenue. Same auntie saying, boy, that city don't love you. Vague to the ones only seen in the postcard. Clear when you ridden in the trunk on the whole yard. Clear when you share one plate, 4 folks starve. Clear in the eyes of the ones who took it too far. So when I spell it out, better feel that. Every little letter got a story when I peel back. Say you understand, but you still cap. If you never heard the sirens in the cul-de-sac, they don't.
Yo, it's the VEG. We at the Vague in the building. Hey, we got Tiffany in the
Yeah.
building, and she's giving y'all a little history on Las Vegas and some of the ways that she was moving and things like that. And we having a great time. Make sure y'all click subscribe, hit like and share, and leave a comment, and maybe we'll respond. But if nothing else, remember the days when you was young. Remember when you stealing out the store. You was going to school. Everybody grew up on the west side of town. Some people moved to the west side. Some people moved out in Henderson area, but mostly everybody came from off the west side. That's everybody. And then gangs started becoming gangs in the 80s, the late 70s actually, but the 80s got real hot. And the whole 80s was on fire. And at the end of the 80s, it really got fire. Start 90s, early 90s, it just started burning. So I know y'all may not understand all that, but if you've been a part of it, you know. Yo, Tiff, what's up?
Hey, what's up? I just end up I found you. I was like, where
Okay,
he at?
right on.
The only one and only
They don't
Vegas.
get it, they look lost and they act like they with it. With their wig on the tongue.
So, and
I love that intro. I love it.
right, I love it too. Thank you so much. So
I'm
while
like,
we in the
boy,
vague, we in the vague. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
That's what a
They
lot of
be
people don't
sleeping
know.
on
So
us
let me get
though.
this straight. Let me get this straight with people. A lot of people they be like, Mike, you vague. I'm like, no, the city is vague. It's Vegas. It's half of Vegas. We would call California Cali. We would be big. Oh yeah, we going to Cali. We going to Cali. We going to Cali. But you can't say we in the vague. Mike, what's that? What it mean? Mike, what is? What, tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me. I'm like, man, it's the vague. So,
Hello?
I mean, what you trying to get out of me? But listen, hey Tiffany, let me ask you this. So in the neighborhood, how often did y'all really get out of the neighborhood and go like on the strip, downtown, or something like that?
First, let me just say neighborhood. I've been wanting to say that. I've been wanting to say
Neighborhood.
that forever. Well, let me be honest, like in the 80s, never. Like I don't even know what the strip looked. I didn't know what the strip looked like until I was about 15.
Wow. So why was that?
Mike, Mike, it was in I was 15 in 95.
Man, in 95,
1995.
I was moving around.
And guess why? Because I finally had went to Wet n Wild.
Went
And
wild with your shit.
and when I looked at it, I went down there and I was looking all around like, what part of this are like what?
All
I didn't
new.
even know. We had that look like, you look on TV and stuff, but the strip didn't show that much on TV like that.
Right.
But when you go down there, you seen down now I seen downtown because I would see downtown a lot on TV. But
Right.
the
But
strip
they
I
don't show
didn't.
like the way they show commercials out of town of Vegas. They don't show them like that here. We don't get real commercials of Vegas here.
We don't.
But when
And
I
you
be
ain't
in like
lying.
hotel rooms out of town, man, I be seeing a whole Vegas show, all
You
kinds of
ain't
stuff.
lying.
Yeah.
I went to Arkansas and they act like I was a celebrity.
Is that
They
right?
was like, "You live in Vegas?" Now I'm in Arkansas. I'm in Lake Village, the like one of the rural areas. They like, "You live in Vegas?" I'm like, "Yeah." They like, "You live on the strip?" I said, "The strip." I said, "The strip? Who wants to live on the strip?" I said, "No, I don't live on the strip. It's too cluttered. It's too noisy." And when I said that, they was like, "Oh my God!" Like it. I thought everybody looked. I said, "Man, come on, man." They love I mean, the way they present it to other places is almost like drawing them in. It's like like they
Bait.
hypnotized about
It's like
Vegas.
bait. They
Yep,
bait them all in. They make them all think they can win. And
yep.
people come in thinking they gonna win their fortune. I'm gonna let y'all know, out of a million people, only one of them gonna win.
Man, tell them
And
the
you can
truth.
take this all the way, all the way.
To the bank.
Absolutely. Because gambling is about trying to win the house. And you go in there with 40, $50,000, you may lose all of it trying to win 100,000. And if you do win 100,000, you're gonna try to win 200,000. You get that, you're gonna want to
Right.
win 300,000. And then when they give you a room and they start giving you free food, you're gonna stay there. You got to come back down and gamble. So by the end of your trip, you're gonna be to gave it all back, all of it, and that's
But
real.
they think that's all we about. I had a conversation with somebody about 6 months ago, and they were saying, Vegas don't have no culture, and they were saying, and Vegas not for families, and to some degree it is. However, the old Vegas was. The old Vegas, we had things, we took care of each other in the neighborhood. I'm talking about Mike, when I used to be outside, if one old lady seen me and the street lights was still on. I mean, going down. She'll be like, "I'm about to call your mama. I'm about to call your grandma. You need to get on down to Reed Place." Or she'll tell me, it was literally a village. So when I hear stuff like the West Side was dirty and no, we took pride in our neighborhoods. Our grass was green. My grandma had a garden. We
I used to
really
come
had
through there. I used to see nice yards all on the west side.
exactly.
There was a
I'm
lot
like,
of areas on the
I ain't
west
always
side
been
that kind of
bad.
looked like California,
Yes.
like Berkeley Square.
You see, and them was nice homes. Um, we used to have a store called Big Eight. Are you from Vegas?
I'm from Vegas, born and raised.
What? So you know Big Eight?
I used to go to Big Eight with a note, and
Me
my
too.
grandmother wanted some cigarettes and a beer.
I
And
used
I
to
was
have to
only
write
like
the note.
10, and I could go, and I would get them the note. And because of my grandmother said they going I was around when they was putting the milk cartons with the milk on your back door.
Sure was.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I used to. My grandma used to write the note in between her paydays, or before we got our food stamps, and she'll say, "Go take this to Big Eight," and she'll give me a list of things she want. And when I get the letter, I used to have to get her snuff because my grandma did tobacco snuff. She used to do the snuff, and
Right.
I used to have to get her eggs, all the thing, her hog head cheese, uh the sodas, the drinks we had. They had the best sodas and different things like that, her pickle pig feet. And so when I look at stuff like that, I always tell people, like, we have a history, we have a culture. It just don't it just don't seem like it because we have so many people that come from different places and then they land in Vegas.
I don't know if
But we
people
Vegas.
I don't know if people ever I don't know if you've seen, but back from like 99 to 2009, I ran the hair show game where I was putting hair shows on. There was big, huge,
Wow.
packed houses, Texas Station, the Plaza, Sam's Town, uh,
Wow.
Cashman Center, Alexis Park. Yeah, it was cracking. It was going on.
So you okay? Wait a minute. So was it weaves or you was doing real, like, because back then weaves wasn't big. We did hair.
It was hairstyles. It was regular hairstyles, and it was also the fantasy hairstyles with like the
Yeah,
helicopter, you
like
know,
the helicopters, the fans,
all of that
the
type of
oh
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
the crips. Oh
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love hair, so I love the industry. I was just too young at the time, but man, listen, I would watch that stuff, and Chicago's still up on it though.
So one of my greatest shows was in 2008, and I had Little Willie from Detroit. I had Cool C from Detroit. I had the great Kenneth Scott from Houston, and I had
Woo!
Gil from Chicago, and plus I had all of the local people here. Um, I had my wife at the time, Tiffany. She was like the draw. She was like the Floyd Mayweather of the whole thing. If she wasn't in it, people wasn't gonna probably really be interested. But because she was a part of it, everybody came out,
Okay.
and the shows were like, I mean, black people so sick. I'm gonna just tell you this. It was so many people in the ear of trying to tear it down. Just black people. White people wasn't doing it. It's black people. They were in people's ear, in the pockets of people that was helping me out, trying to do everything they could to tear it down. And once I stopped doing hair shows, nobody else tried to do them. You had a few
Wow.
people trying to do them because I was doing them. Once I quit, none of them did a show. So
Something so good died for that because of jealousy.
absolutely. And that was showing major culture. Like we had every black person in the building. Now I'm talking about we had the Dallas ballroom packed from wall to wall with the fire marshal came in and told me if I let one more person in, they were shutting the place down. So I got to stand out the door and tell everybody, man, y'all can't come in. And there was
You
still
can't
a
come.
line of people all the way down there. But that was the culture. We had Floyd Mayweather sitting front row. We had Marcus Allen sitting front row. You know, we had Martin, which was pretty cool dude. He was front row, and people was buying these seats and coming to see the shows, and it was so
Who was it? Martin
huge.
Lawrence?
No, Martin Hatch.
Okay.
Yeah, he out of the Gershon. But you had so many people from different neighborhoods, different sets. You had the Dungeon Studios. You had the Moss 75. You had, I mean, just different people from different
Right.
walks of life. Everybody came together. Nobody was fighting. Nobody was mad at each other. It wasn't no competition. It was just a showcase. So that was like the biggest culture thing that really was in Vegas in the 90s.
I was
I
gonna
mean,
say
actually in
that.
the early 2000s. Let me say that. It was 99 to 2009.
We had that because I believe I seen some of them hair shows. Not only that, we didn't have much, but what we did have was the drill team, the dance squads. I was in the drill team. I was in Las Vegas Hot Steppers for a little while, and
That's the
then
other group. I couldn't think of their name today, but the Hot Steppers.
yes,
Yeah,
they did. They made a big stamp on Vegas culture. Um, we
they did.
Yep, they had the Western dance as well.
Absolutely.
Um,
We got to add the Hydromatics in there because I was part of the Hydromatics, which was probably
oh,
before your time. But the Hydromatics was definitely better than any of the drill teams. Not because I was part of it. No, no,
no,
no, no. Listen, not because I was part of it. Do your research and ask people. The Hydromatics, we had Xena, we had Net, we had Duro. We had people that was just so. You might know Net. She's a minister. She do.
I think I do.
But Net, nobody could outdance Net. We had Sway. We had so many people that was part of our
I
drill team.
remember Sway being in it because Sway went switched up.
Yeah, all of them switched. Yeah, they switched up because we only had it like 2 seasons, but
Yeah.
we was fire, and we
Where
did
y'all was
win the
coming from North?
competition.
Where y'all was
Was
coming from
from the
North Las
north.
Vegas?
Yeah, like north
Hydromatics.
Hydromatics.
I think I
And
remember them.
Jerry was the drill team leader. We had
Jerry.
D Main, which D Main was like D Main was he would make people cry watching him dance because they wanted his autograph and all of that kind of stuff. We had we was on another level.
And so
not
what?
to
So
not to
did
say
y'all
nothing
compete?
bad about the High Steppers or the Westernettes because they was great and they tore it up for years and they still doing it. We
I was
just
just gonna
came
say,
in.
I was gonna say the OGs is out now, and they you got Nora, um,
Nora Cook.
yep, and they do it. I mean, man, that woman could dance,
Yes.
and so I
She
just
was
seen a
part of the
show with
Las
them.
Vegas Aces High Rollers.
Yep,
Yeah.
she and then she just did a show at just a little show at some little lounge that she was at. I don't even know what it was, but she got down on there, and I just feel like
I seen that.
at 60 and 50 plus, and you still dancing like that's culture.
That's
Anything that
culture.
could carry on from generation to generation
That's
is our
culture.
culture. Vegas has a culture, but like I said, only people say nobody from Vegas. It's a lot of people from Vegas, and I'm gonna say this:
Natives.
people. My grandma came from Louisiana. Most
So did my
people who
grandmother.
say, I was just gonna
Same.
say, most people migrated to the West Side because
Absolutely.
that's where they housed us at.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? And so our community, everybody knew each other, even if it was down in Gerson, because we all went to the same churches, we all attended the same grocery stores. It was like our place of refuge. And so anything outside of there, we didn't know of. That's why when you said, had I ever went to the strip? No, because we had parks that was nice. We did think, man, listen, the merry-go-round was my best friend. We would go to Lorenzi Park. We would go to the indoor swap meet. Oh, Rancho. we'll go to the swap meet. People talking about the malls. No, we want Meadows Mall was the bomb, but you know, we was on a discount mall budget.
Right.
We went and got pictures. That's why if you see my content now, you see it's something that I miss about the 90s and the 80s. 80s, I'm an 80s baby, but the 90s raised me.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? So when I do that content, I'm literally going back when it was good for me. The things that I remember that kept me youthful, the things that I remember that was innocent when I had to come home to gunfire and shootings and have to duck, like you said, be on the ground. And you ain't lying about the roguish, because I sold dope since I was six, from the age 16 and up, because I had my first baby at 15.
Ain't that something?
And I had to take care of my baby. Man, I had 3 kids before the age of 19.
That was hot thing. Pop them out. Pop
Don't
them out.
say that. That wasn't the story. That, I came from, a background that caused me to, experience too early on because of due to molestation and stuff. And so it caused me to experience things that I shouldn't have at such a young age. But my kid's father, I was with him for years. The first boy I ever touched, I had kids by. That was that I was with him for 5 years till I was 20 something. And
Right.
so when I was having these kids, I was working at a daycare. You get your first job at 16, it's either at a daycare or fast food. And so
But
I
when
was
I was
working at a
coming up, it was
daycare.
in the casino as a busboy
Really?
or fast food. Yeah, one of those two.
See, I probably wasn't thinking that hard. I think because I had kids, I wanted to be around kids, and
Right.
so and I got free daycare for my kid when I was because I worked there, and so I had a daycare job and I sold dope, and, and that's how. See, now remember when we went back to when I was telling you having a fight with the Donnas,
Right.
the Donna girls. So my homeboy was a Donna Street, and I loved him. His name was Firecracker, and
That's
so
my that's my guy.
at, at RIP, right?
Yes, rest
So
in peace.
when they came over, we had a rule in the Rogish, because we was all like a melting pot of gangs. So our rule over there was that we respect each other, gang baby, because we were because the color we carried was green. We didn't care about a red rag, a blue rag, no, it was money.
Right.
So when you over there, we wasn't set claiming over there. We knew who he was, but we was
And where
caring
y'all
about
was at?
money. So we was in the Rogish.
Okay, okay.
But the Rogish had different gangs. There was no gang over there. It was different people from different places.
It was
But
some. It was.
we
But
made
the
up
Rogish always been vicious. Even the small Rogish, right off of
on
behind the Cashman
Washington.
Center. Yeah.
Hmm. They
'Cause I
call it
went
baby
over there and
Rogish.
I've seen some and ran into some situations way early.
See, but that's the thing. Situation when we was up there, we had a mutual respect for where each of us was from, because we cared about feeding our families and feeding surviving. So we
Hustling.
didn't care about the gang stuff. That was
Right.
outside of it. If we in our neighborhood, then it mattered. If we somewhere and somebody come up, but when we was in the Rogish, we all got along. And one day, some Donna Street girls jumped my auntie, and Firecracker gave me clearance. He said, "These my homegirls." He said, "But they did wrong, and they came into our place of business, and they just started something gang affiliated." And
Right.
when they did that, he gave me clearance, and yeah,
Yeah.
me and my homegirls from the coast, we did our business or whatever. But like I said, it would never be me looking to go fight. I thank God that I'm saved from that, because I could have got killed when I got shot with the 357 and almost blew my leg off. I knew then that was the warning to get out the life.
You were shot by a
I was
gang
shot by my homeboy, but we was about to shoot up some dollars.
and he shot you.
No, he shot me
Right.
on accident. The one in the chamber went off and out the 357 and shot
See,
my
that's just
leg.
being young and not knowing the gun.
Yep. he ended up he pushed the thing back, and when he pushed it back, the one in the chamber went out, and I didn't even know I was shot. You know how you looking around, and
Right.
it broke my femur, my thigh. It
Oh
shot me in my
wow.
thigh, my biggest bone, and I fell to my body. I mean, my body fell to the ground like boom. I say, blood, you shot me. They bust out laughing. They laughing because they like she played too much because I told you I played too much. I said, nah, blood, you shot me. I said, you shot me. But they didn't see no blood. And when he ripped my jeans, I had a big old hole. You know what a 357 bullet looked like?
Uh-huh.
Man, I had a hole and I was bleeding internally. And so when he ripped my pants, I said, we gotta make up something. Call the police and say the Donna shot me. And I ran upstairs.
Blame it on the dollars.
I'm
There
blaming
was
the
so much
enemy.
activity.
I
But
say,
I mean, at
tell
least you
them
didn't
they
want to get your
shot me.
homeboy in trouble.
Right, exactly. And he rests in peace to this day. I say, tell them they shot me. I ran upstairs and I collapsed. But when the detectives got there, they was like, somebody in this house shot you. And I was like, no, I don't know what you talking about. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And I had said, somebody go get my mama, right? Telling you. And I say, go get my mama because they trying to say that somebody shot me. I don't know what they talking about. They trying to make me think I'm making this up or whatever. And whole time the detectives know because if your thigh bone is broke, you can't move.
Right.
So it kind of took away the whole lie of me running upstairs and then I collapsed. He like, you would have fell right where you was at, just like you did, because you got shot right where you at. And I was
See
like,
what
whoa.
people don't know, what goes on in Vegas, you never really know because it's not really on nothing major and people not
No,
like posting it like crazy. But back then, there was a lot of things that took place and people think it's only the strip. They think we live on the strip. No, we got hoods and neighborhoods. It may not be hoods to y'all, but if you go live over there, you'll be calling it
it's
the
a
hood.
it's it show is. I hear that from Cali people a lot. Oh, this ain't no hood. Okay, so listen, my thing with that is this: senseless killing ain't nothing to be amped up about.
No, it's not.
Senseless killing is not nothing for us to say. That's not a flex.
That's not.
Me to see my
But it
homeboy die
became the
for an
it
innocent
became
kid.
a fashion. It became something people couldn't wait to do, not even really understanding that this is what I want people to hear. We need us to fight with. So the people that provoke people, because there's a lot of senseless stuff, but then there's people that provoke people, there's people that attack people, and there are people that just want bad. Go do it somewhere else.
Exactly.
In this neighborhood, this culture, we've seen enough. We've done enough. And I seen a little kid the other day. His homeboy got hit. And he got his fist balled up and don't want to give up no information like he finna whoop the police. And they started telling him to get back. We trying to get the boy's mama information, but this little young dude, he acting all hard. And I was out there to make sure the police didn't beat him up, but he was pushing it. He was pushing
Well,
it.
this is the thing. They have a street code, but they not street.
They're not street.
You not
Can't fight.
street. You don't have a street
110
code. I don't
pounds.
have a street code.
Right.
I used to, but I don't have a street code. I told somebody the other day, if you not a gangbanger, you don't have a street code. You don't owe no loyalty to nobody. Call the police if you see some injustice.
Yeah.
It is not cool for you to see somebody and take your phone out and you see a murder, like you're seeing
And
things,
you filming it.
and you take your phone out, but not to call the police for help, but to record it to get some views.
That's what I want to hear.
We are in a bad place in society because ain't no way you that desensitized to murder or unaliving somebody, seeing somebody unalive, and the only way you take your phone out is to spread it. And
That's
you
crazy.
spreading more fear, and guess what that get? That produces more people with guns, that produces more rage, more exciting, what they call it, exciting, when you exciting the riot type thing.
Right.
Like we don't understand what we're doing with this technology. God gave us this technology to do intelligent things with it, but what we did, we got the new dope. You didn't hear about the new dope. See, people think it's fentanyl. No, it's called views.
Ooh,
That's the new dope. It
that's
ain't
strong.
heroin. It ain't fentanyl. It's
It's
called
views.
views.
Man, that's
And we
strong.
got people out here dying because people want views. We got people killing people on social media because they're you want to be so social media? Okay, let me show you this. Pow pow. What?
We're gonna take a break and we're gonna come right back with Tiffany Washington and Michael Elliott.
They all slide through. Fight nights, angels, banners in the sky. Champ rings flashing, that's a battle cry. You've been all over, saw a couple bright things, but this that place where the bright lights stay. Ain't nothing like the Bay. Head bounce heavy when the beat go bang. Whole town jump when the cage don't clang. You been all over, but it ain't this flame. Ain't nothing like the Bay. We the pop with a big chips chain. Casinos up, black spots untamed. You been all over, but it ain't this same. Black on kitchen sauce strip, play slam. Soul food hitting like a backhand. Beauticians in the cut, turn a 6 to a star. Barbers with the phase like they drawing with a scar. F1 speeds, high screen down the lane. WNBA champs, bring the banners, bring the rain. We the vault, we the safe, we the wire. City moon mean like a choir on fire. Ain't nothing like the Bay. Head bounce heavy when the beat go bang. Whole town jump when the cage door clang. You been all over, but it ain't this same. Ain't nothing like the Bay. We the pot with a big.
Yo, we back. Ain't nothing like the vague. See, living here, growing up here, you'd have to really talk to some natives, some people that's been here. There's so many people that's coming in from out of town, and they just kind of like salting their game. They putting a mix in it. They putting a cut on it. See, we straight real right here, and in Vegas, we always gonna give you 100, especially on the Vague Show. So make sure y'all click subscribe, hit like, and share. We come right back with my girl Tiffany in the building.
Yeah, make
Yo,
sure
yo,
y'all thumbs up. Come on, get them thumbs up. Let put our city on the map.
that's right. So, right now, we 2026, and there hasn't really been any improvement in the activity of gangs and things like that. It's not even really so much that it's gangs now. It's just cliques. It's people that are doing things. If you had one thing to tell these young folks today, what would you tell them?
I would say this: get a mentor, be around people that are doing things with their life. Young people, get around other young people that find school to be a place of like not refuge, but just a safe place. Not go to school because you worried about who dressing the best. Not going to school because you want to see who you can fight. No, really going. People call these type of kids nerds. I hung with nerds, Mike. I hung with nerds because I felt like I wanted my homework done, and it was something about them that they were hungry for knowledge. And so get around people who are applying knowledge, not just knowledgeable, no, but they're applying the knowledge that they learned. Get around people who are older, that are stable minded, that can mentor you. Go into places where you get into sports where you can talk to coaches. I don't feel like our young people do enough. Vegas don't have a lot for young people, but we still have enough. And if money is an issue, because most of the time it is, money is one of the biggest issues that we have in Las Vegas. I wish out of all the GoFundMe's that we do for people, for funerals, when people should have life insurance, we would do a GoFundMe to do activities with these kids. We need to pour more into our boys and girls clubs. We need to make some of these apartments, low income houses, have a recreational center in the inside of it where these kids are able to go and be coached, to be loved on, to be fed, have a food program again, do it like the Black Panther Party first started doing it. Let's go back to the blueprint. Let's go back to how it was. What's wrong with going back to how it was back in the days where it worked for us, but just do a little more improvising. Do a little more, just make it a little more for where it's for up to date. Because if it worked then, it'll work now. We just have to tweak it a little bit. You see what I'm saying? And save the ones we can save and the ones that we can't.
How do we separate those ones? They
From
got
the
to go to
ones that
school
we
with
can't,
them.
that's
They got to go
already
to the
got their mind
games with
made
them.
up.
How do we separate them?
For me, I would do this. I would give them all a chance. But the very time that one that don't want it begin to exemplify that, we have to let them go. Because what happens is a little leaven leavens the whole lump. If you have unleavened bread and you get a little bit of flour, a little bit of leaven in there, it's gonna mess up the whole dough.
Everything.
And so if you have a spotted sheep and you mix it with the ones without blemish, it's going to be able to have an influence on the ones that are without blemish. And so we have to be careful, because I'd rather save one or two than to lose that one or two because I'm trying to save the bad apples.
Ain't no saving the bad apples. They just got to learn.
I'm telling you,
and their learning process. How do we get our kids away from them?
By being involved. This is what I see going on, Mike, with the parents. You say, "Oh, the teacher supposed to teach." Oh, the teacher supposed to teach. Yes, the teacher supposed to teach, but the teacher supposed to teach at the school what already has been implemented at the house.
Yeah.
My kids was homeschooled. I'm gonna keep it real. The public system can't teach my kids nothing.
Right on.
I'm gonna just be honest. Y'all, they do too much and they do too little when it comes to education. And I want my kids to know about Black history. So I took my kids out, and I wanted them to know about biblical studies as well. So I homeschooled my kids and put them in a charter school. And on the side of that, I would teach them biblical principles and things like that, so that they can be mixed with church and natural, right? I mean, not church, spiritual and natural, okay? Because I don't teach religion. However, I wanted my kids to have a foundation because I did not have one. We send our kids somewhere to places, job interviews, and these kids can barely talk. They can barely articulate what they asking for. I seen a kid literally fill out a job application and ask some of the basic stuff that they should have knew. What does this mean, Ma? What have we done?
It's crazy.
Have we failed our kids and we looking for somebody else to raise them?
Maybe.
Before you went to watch this. Before you went to kindergarten, right?
Right.
Didn't you have basic things that you knew before you even got there?
Yep.
Like your name.
Right.
Like how to tie your shoe.
Yep.
How to go to the bathroom and wipe yourself before. They don't have it. I have talked to teachers. Not only that, I work close with the community. See, they don't see what we do in the back end, and I don't post every single thing, right? Just like you, most of the people don't even know how much you do in the community.
They don't.
However, what I learned from the families that I deal with as my clients, these kids don't know the basic things that you should know even before starting school. So when a teacher say, "What's your name?" They'll tell them their name. They'll say, "Do you know the letters?" But they don't even know the letters. What is this? I don't know. But they know their name because they got told it. Like, you calling their name. Teresa, Michael. That's how you know your name. But did you sit them down and write out the M the I, the C? Did you say Michael, ma? Did you say, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because a lot of us actually, we learn bad language through people older than us, parents, aunties, sisters, and their speech wasn't good, and we learned it. So when it was like um, a word like "are," we would say "is." So it's like something that simple, we gonna get it wrong because our language is
Our
you
English
coming
wasn't
or
proper.
is you there, right? Versus are you there or are you gonna go? So we've been wish-washed and we learn language that we know. We learn what we learned in the house. You know, some people grandmothers had never even been to high school. You know, they knew how to hustle. They knew how to get money. They
Yeah.
wasn't concerned with being educated. They was concerned with feeding their family. And that's what a lot of people hustle and it's all about trying to get some dough to feed their family. And you got a lot of people that do it just because they want to flash or show off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They want to have a stack of money and be like, hello, all on
Hello.
Facebook with a stack of
Oh,
money,
right,
acting like,
right.
like, and it one thing that turns me off about my people is that when we have the opportunity to change a generation, we use it, we use the status that we have for foolery.
You
You
right.
mean to tell me you get a platform and what you do is start acting like a coon?
That part.
So now you get big. And instead of using that platform to encourage, to influence, to teach, to educate, you start acting crazy because it's still about the dollar and about, like I said, that dope, that new dope,
That's right.
views.
Views. That's some strong dope right there.
And I'm gonna be honest, you don't even get the dopamine that people try to get from that. Like, you gonna keep having to do something, your next big thing, your next big thing. You gotta you gotta keep it up. You know, you see what I'm saying? And so I posted a picture with a Facebook F and a needle going in the arm of somebody. Oh my God.
That was a tattoo?
No, it was a picture, a portrait. I'll send it to you. It's a Facebook icon with a needle, but it's going into the arm of a person.
Kind of like when Cube did lethal injection.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying is, your dopamine, you so high off of Facebook likes, comments, all that thing, that now that's all that matters. The real life don't matter no more. The real life is getting neglected. But this is the thing. The fake life on Facebook and all these, videos we do and all these things like that. Like I said, if you're not using that influence that now you have, this big major platform, if you're not using that to educate, to encourage, to influence positively, then what happens is we have another generation falling by the wayside. Because you somebody big now, instead of you using that to develop us, a different type of scenario, we just following back. It's just recycled content, and it's foolishness. And I'm disappointed because I've seen the Kai Sinats. I forgot how to pronounce his last name. Forgive me. This young man got big overnight during COVID. Do you hear me? During COVID, when we was all locked up in the house, everybody kind of got big overnight because of that, right?
Right.
Just recently, he said, I got to take a break.
Hmm.
I got something going on with my mental health. Everybody like, oh, he tripping over a girl. No, I don't even think it's just that. I think he just, you got to keep people momentum going, and he's running out of things. And I think too, it mentally messes with you that somebody depends on you to boost their dopamine up every day. You become somebody else's high.
You know, we just had Orlando Brown
I
in
seen
the
that. Good
studio,
job.
and he was telling me about how he was out there, how he was living underneath the bridge, And he was telling me, if you just be yourself, everything will work out. He wasn't being himself, and he was losing himself by doing drugs,
What he was
drinking,
doing.
and being around the wrong just people that really didn't have his best interest. So it was great to hear him say, "I'm all right now." You know what I mean?
He
Because
even looked different. He even looked different.
yeah, people they go through especially when you've been in the entertainment all your life and what you see, and there's so many people that are parents or elderly people that damage the youth, not even knowing that they really damaging this kid. They'll do anything around this kid. They'll smoke, they'll drink, they'll pull out a gun, they'll teach them how to be this hood dude, not even knowing what that's gonna really carry. Because the person that he's telling it to, there's two other people watching. And when those people are watching, they gonna pick up what he's saying. And it's always the younger guys. And when they get out there, they're gonna be fired.
Yeah.
They're gonna be fired.
Yeah. Do you think we have, and I hate to sound like this, do you think there is hope for our youth coming up? Because
No,
sometimes,
let me say this. We do have some hope for some youth.
okay,
But some people gonna stay lost, and some avenues will never change because of zoning and city councilmen, government, housing. They know how to keep their money flowing. They know how to keep their job. They know how to keep this stuff rolling, and that's why it happens in every city, in every state. So our biggest thing is to keep reaching out, keep grabbing those kids and putting them in positions so that they could be attorneys, Congress, maybe even a president, government. Put them in position so that they could be, but not to be in position to go and say, I hate these black people. Because there's a lot of black folks that get in position and they say, I hate these black people.
self-hate.
Self-hate. They look in the mirror every day and they wish they was white. They look in the mirror every single day and want their hair to look like a white dude's. And they in position. You see what Trump doing? He got in position, put all of his people in position, whether they was qualified or not.
Yeah.
You have some black folks could put another black person in position and make something big and also have a great following and show great, unity and also bring people together. But they be so afraid, oh, he gonna get all the attention. Let me get this out. Negroes and niggas,
Yeah.
do what you do, be good at it. If somebody's better than you at it, that's just what it is. So you can't hate somebody for being better than you for who and what they putting out. So we had a situation where this guy, he pretends he know everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get, and you don't have, let me say it, you say you know everybody, but you never brought nobody to the table. If you know somebody that can help us get out of this hole, won't you call them? Bring them over here.
Set up
Show
a
us
meeting.
up. But they always act like they know these people and they done so much, but don't know shit.
Right.
Dre's nightclub paid $30,000 to fly T.I. and Tiny here on a private jet. Dre's nightclub make money here in the city, but they never gave nothing to the neighborhood. They never did nothing for nobody outside or nobody of color. And that's all they have in there is color folks. They bring in black Future and all of those people, Chris Brown, all the people. But they don't come to the neighborhoods in Vegas. They don't come and lay it out. In Dre's nightclub, y'all know y'all need to be really looking back into the community, all the money that y'all made and all of the people that y'all done had in
Hello.
there. And then not only that, the influence of it ain't that great anyway. So you really should be giving back. And all you're gonna do is write it off anyway.
Sure
So
will. So when I heard you say about Trump and him bringing his people in, son-in-law, daughter, family, and close friends and things like that, I thought about something that we had said earlier about how we get our kids into lawyers, doctors, because like you said, if somebody good at something, if you a doctor and I'm a doctor, it's so many, we all could be doctors and people gonna choose who they want to go to.
they're gonna
We
choose
all
who they
could be
want to go to.
cooks. They gonna choose what they want to eat at. We all could be a store. They gonna choose
Absolutely.
what shopping mall they want to go to, a boutique. That's why, and you're right, the crab in the bucket mentality is one of the reasons why we don't get anywhere as a people. But watch this. I'm about to blow your mind with this. It ain't, we don't have to, nobody has to commit genocide. They always say genocide. No, we have a systematic genocide. What is that,
Self-hatred.
Tiffany? It's exactly. So it's built in. It is built in
You got
because of
you
what
got
we went
family
through.
members that are brothers and sisters. You got family members that are mothers and daughters, and they can't stand each other. But it's
Systematic.
all a front.
Systematic.
It's all a front because when they die, who gonna bury them? Their family. When you're born, who pampering and feeding you? Your family. And then they grow up to hate their family. They grow up and don't want to have nothing to do with their family. And they push the issue and they push it on other people too. Influence is one of the biggest things. And when people influence someone to be negative, their future gonna be negative.
Yeah.
I seen a post of a girl posted today about someone that's in prison to help them out. So sometimes people think when you go to prison, you're just thrown away. You're all done with. But people got life out there and they gonna do their time in prison and get out. And some people go to prison that may not need to get out because they may go out and harm somebody else.
Yeah.
But it's the judgment of what the jury and the judge will say. But sick people gonna be sick no matter what,
That's
and
right.
until they heal. But I just like to see people stop hating and help put somebody in position that is good at something. If this dude here could hike the ball better than him, let him hike the damn ball.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people feel like, well, shit, he getting all the attention for hiking the ball. I want to hike the ball. No, let him hike the ball. Everybody got something different to do. And
Yeah.
I think
Some
that,
people are meant to be in the spotlight, some people are not.
right,
One thing I'm learning, like I said, the systematic genocide, we kill off the dream that Martin Luther King talked about when we come up against each other. It doesn't have to be a war with other countries. We have a civil war going on.
right.
It's within.
And
It's
let me
always
get to this
within.
before we get too far. If you go to Dillard's, you're not going to see the owner of Dillard's. You're going to see the
Never.
employees.
That's it. They're the
So
faces.
people, stop hating on your own folks. Stop hating on the people that look like you. Stop
That's
trying
right.
to kill and just destroy the people that look like you. We've done enough of that.
Hallelujah.
It's
Hallelujah.
time that we could really make a big difference in the world. And it's a perfect time right now because of everybody is just going crazy. It ain't no real unity other than what Trump is putting together in his army.
Yeah.
And we don't like him. Nobody want to see none of that. So that means that we need to really start locking in like real
Yeah.
family.
It's community. It
That's
started in the
community.
community. The Bible says, do not despise small beginnings. It starts with us. It starts with us in our communities. Y'all don't even show up for the. If I throw a community barbecue right now, guess what you're gonna see? You're gonna see about 5 families out there, but they want to complain about what the community not doing, right? You'll see 5 families, but when the gangbangers throw a barbecue, I'm talking about it's a block party. Does
It's a
that
block
make
party.
sense?
It don't make sense. And I'm glad you touched on that because we just did a parade and Mickey Allman, I want to give that man a big shout out.
I love
He did
Ricky. Oh, that's one of my
Mickey
elders.
Mickey got a spot in the parade. He talked to maybe 50, 60 people. Oh man, I got Mickey, you should do this. Mickey, you should get in the parade. So Mickey did it. Once he did it, the ones who showed up was the ones who need to be there. But the ones who said they was gonna show up, they didn't show up because they really was, I don't want to say hating, but they didn't want to see it work. Because they felt like they
It's
was
true.
needed.
It's true. That's how it worked.
They felt like they was needed. The people who was there was needed. I even had my daddy out there at 82 years old walk that whole thing.
Was
You
y'all
know what I
out there
mean?
in the white?
White t-shirts
Yeah, with the
and the blue jeans.
brotherhood.
Yeah, the brotherhood.
Yep, I seen it.
And so we had 82 years old, 77 years old, 68, 64. We had some old folks out there walking,
Man, come on.
representing. And we had some of these Negroes that'll go to the bar, they'll go to the funeral,
Able body.
they'll go and spend $1,000 on a person that's already dead and go to their gravesite and have a big party, but you can't come and support something that's live and something that's a dream and something that people want to see.
Yeah.
So we're going to get ready to close out. I'm going to give you an opportunity to say anything that you would like to say before we close out, and then we go.
Okay. First of all, I just want to say that I'm proud of you, brother. When I look at you, I know the fruits of your labor, and it's not in vain. So I want to say that. Second of all, I want to say that if you watching this or you come across this later or watch the replay, it is not too late for us to build within our community. It could start off small. You don't need an army to produce an army. You could start off with 2 soldiers, bona fide, and you could raise up more soldiers because people with leader and influence know how to wean people in. They know how to bait them in. And so just start off small. If you got 2 strong people that's with you, y'all do it to within with yourselves until it grow bigger and bigger. But start. Do not neglect what we have left in our communities because we still have grandmas raising grandchildren that it's hard for. But I want to say this: can we go back to outreach? Can we go back to community outreach where we're reaching out to people and not looking for them to come to everything that we do, but go knocking on doors? Can we do that again so that we can save? If it take 1 family at a time to save, but let's save these kids that's coming up that's under 11, that ain't got a hard heart, that ain't been through so much that they stop hoping. Let's continue to be steadfast in that area in Las Vegas, you guys. I love you, family. And again, I'm in the trenches. I like to get my hands dirty. I don't just stand in the background. I get my hands dirty and I get out there in the crowd. So if you know me, follow me, and you can come see. And I mean, you can come ask about me and I'll be there.
Right on. Make sure y'all click like, make sure y'all hit share, and make sure y'all leave a comment. This was a great show today. I enjoyed Tiffany's. I didn't know, but sometimes we've been living in the same city. I'm a century ahead of her. No, I got about some years, but I didn't know when I seen her on Facebook and I seen her presentation. You would think this is a person been to a real college and got a degree and sitting behind somebody's desk and running a business. So looks can be deceiving, but she's on point now, and I just love everything that she's been doing, and also her ministry has been powerful. So if y'all haven't checked out on the ministry, y'all make sure y'all tune in, go to her Facebook, Tiffany Washington, and check her out. And man, thank y'all for tuning in, and the ones that are going to tune in, we'll get back with y'all later.
Raspy love. Welcome to Vegas, baby. Heard a whisper. Now it's headlines. They call him ambassador out on the strip. Every secret in the city sitting on his hip. Fake talk floating that pretend myth. He just raised one brow like who said this. Real ones land and they tap in quick. Touchdown, first stop where Mike Elliott. If it move in the desert, he done seen that flip. Got his hands in the mix, fingertip by fingertip. Ambassador of Las Vegas. Say his name when you touch down. If you're scared of the truth, stay nameless. He the one running this town. Give him love while he breathing. Say it out loud. Better respect the respect before he ain't around. Mysterious rumors, all that fake talk weak. Scared of the real, so they barely even speak. Heard they play tough online all week, but in person they quiet when they meet that seat. When you come to this city, you gon' check in. From the deep to Brazil, they all steppin'. Piece of the action, they slided on the table. Cause he made half these stories, even cable ready. Sweet voice in my head say, go girl talk. Raspy in my chest say, nah, tear the roof off. You in Vegas now, baby, mask off, deal cut. If you mention this town, better bring his name up. Ambassador, Las Vegas. Say his name when you touch down. If you're scared of the truth, stay named.